Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and welcome to a new series I've been wanting to start for some time called Sentinel Reviews. Yes, I've wanted to start a review series, but I could never think of anything to review. That being said, when Doctor Who Series 11 starts in the fall, I am definitely going to cover that. I'm going to cover the episodes as they come out. I just thought before that I could get a little practice in, and I'm going to do that by discussing and reviewing one of my favorite spin-offs from Doctor Who, The Diary of River Song. On TV, there was 3 spin-offs from Doctor Who. There was Class, which was canceled after one series and is being revived on audio. There was the Sarah Jane Adventures, and then there was Torchwood. On audio, we've had numerous spin-offs, including Iris Wildtime, I, Davros, The Diary of River Song, Unit, Jago and Lightfoot, and many, many more than I can count. Like I said, of all these spin-offs, The Diary of River Song is my personal favorite. In each of these videos, I'm going to cover each series individually. So this video is Series 1. And then the next video will be Series 2, Series 3, Series 4 and 5 will be after they come out because they haven't been released yet. But yeah, so strap yourselves in, enjoy the ride. I will be covering the 4 individual stories that make up Series 1 and then conclude with an overview of the set as a whole. Series 1 was released in 2015, I'm blanking on the month, and it was directed by Ken Bentley, and it stars Alex Kingston as River Song, Alexander Vlahos as Bertie Potts, Samuel West as Mr. Song, and Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor. So, with the introduction out of the way, let's just dive into the first story. Real quick before we get started, I just want to let you guys know there is a spoiler warning in place. For any of you who've seen my vlogs, you know I do this unscripted, so I don't know what I'm going to cover until I say it. So, just in case I reveal anything, yeah, I am putting a blanket spoiler warning in place. We open with The Boundless Sea by Jenny T. Colgan. No rest for the wicked. Hoping to take a break from her adventures, River has gone back to university to conduct her studies quietly. However, you can't keep a good trans-temporal adventuress down, as River finds herself on the way to a mysteriously unearthed tomb when one of the expedition members goes missing. Now, The Boundless Sea is a good story. I want to start off by saying that because, in my opinion, it is the weakest story in Series 1. Alex Kingston gives a decent performance here. We get to see River's more sensitive side, which I found in the series we didn't see a lot of. We had some moments, don't get me wrong, but she was so busy being a badass that we didn't get to see her softer side, which we get to see a lot of here in her relationship with Alexander Vlahos, who plays Bertie Potts. Now, the reason this is the weakest story is because I have 2 major issues with it. The first is the villain. This being set in a tomb, in a pyramid, no less, the villain is a mummy. Or, you know, the Doctor Who sci-fi take on a mummy. Long story. I was never sold on this villain. I don't know if it was the performance or the writing, but all this villain ever did was explain her motivations, and I had an issue with that. You know, it was like, sell it to me without saying it to me, and all she ever did was explain herself. She was basically exposition, the character. My other major issue with this story, and what really weakens it, is that in its plot structure and in its execution, this is a Doctor Who story starring River as the Doctor, and that just doesn't work. Because when it comes to let me restart that. When River and the Doctor are put in the same situations, River would take that extra step. She would do the thing the Doctor wouldn't do. And I feel having her play the Doctor as she does in this story is just a detriment to her character. But despite its weaknesses, The Boundless Sea is decent. It's passable. And it does, at the end, set off events, but that is actually another issue I have with this story. Except for really towards the ending, this story is completely unrelated to the rest of Series 1. And I just... It's like end of the line in Sixth Doctor, The Last Adventure. It's just like, oh, by the way, surprise reference. And that's all that really ties this story into the rest of the set. Overall, I would give The Boundless Sea a 5 out of 10. Like I said, not bad, just eh. Story 2 is I Went to a Marvelous Party by Justin Richards. River has been invited to a party by a mysterious supergroup with an agenda of their own. While she's enjoying herself, someone is found dead. Who is the killer? And is there more to this party than what River has been told? Now, I think I Went to a Marvelous Party may be my favorite story in this set. You know, we do the whole Murder on the Orient Express thing, which is actually mentioned in this story. But I like that whole mystery aspect of it, because one, I love a good mystery, and two, it really shows River's ingenuity here. Like, River is a fast thinker. She's quick on her feet, and she's good at making snap decisions, and this story really highlights that skill set of hers. Also in this story, we find out that Alexander Vlahos' character, Bertie Potts, is alive. And which adds to another level of intrigue into this story, because in The Boundless Sea, he died. And I find this character funny because he's playing it as an obvious River fanboy, but at the same time, he's playing it just the right amount of way to know that, oh, something's not right. And by the time we get to the end of this series, we'll find out exactly what that is. I would give I Went to a Marvelous Party an 8 out of 10. Like I said, in this particular set, it is my... You know what? I'm going to actually give it a 7 out of 10. You know, I do like it. Like I said, my favorite story in this set, but there's still some issues with it. I'm going to talk about a lot of that when I get to the overview. Part 3, Signs by James Goss. The couple has been reunited. River and her husband are now on the search for the mysterious spore ships. I did not want to use mysterious twice, but mysterious vessels that have been wiping out entire planets. That's not the only mystery going on. River's husband is keeping secrets from her. And when it comes to the Doctor, River is the only one allowed to have secrets. What's going on? What is the mystery of the spore ships? And what is River's husband keeping behind that door? Now, I Went to a Marvelous Party might be my favorite story in this set, but Signs is the best story in this set. And that is mostly due to the chemistry between Alex Kingston and Samuel West. Spoiler, Samuel West is not actually playing the Doctor. He is playing a man posing as the Doctor. And actually, I really liked his take on the role. In the making of feature, he said he always hoped of playing the Doctor one day. And after listening to this story, I kind of hope he does. But back to the story. Signs, the entirety of this story is just Alex Kingston and Samuel West. And man, is it strong. Like, it's just the two of them the entire time for an hour, and they have to carry this story themselves, and it is so successful. I, as the strongest story in this set, I would give Signs an 8 out of 10. And we're at the finale, The Rulers of the Universe by Matt Fitton. River has been used. It was all a ploy by the rulers of the universe, hoping to get one of these spore ships to sell as a weapon. And now that she knows she's been used, River is on the warpath. Things only get more complicated, though, when she learns that the rulers have forced the Doctor into their employ. And it only gets more complicated when she finds out that it's a version of the Doctor she isn't supposed to meet yet. Signs, I have very mixed feelings on. One time I'll think about this story and it'll be like, oh, I really like this. The second time I'll think about it, it'll be, oh, I have issues with this story. Most of my issues here pertain to how they deal with and use the Eighth Doctor. Now, I think I don't remember. I discovered this series pretty late, so I don't know how it was advertised, but from what I've been able to find, it seems like River meeting the Eighth Doctor was the selling point of Series 1. You know, and if you got this release just for that, you are going to be disappointed. Because as River stresses, because River is part Time Lord, I'm not going to get into that because that is a massive, complicated explanation, but River understands how important it is to preserve the web of time. So she knows she cannot meet any incarnation of the Doctor before the 11th Doctor. At this point in her life, she doesn't know she can meet the 10th Doctor because she can only meet him at the end of her life. Anyway, and yeah, that interaction, the way she meets the Eighth Doctor is just, it's lazy. I'm sorry, there's no other way to describe it. It's like really, in its execution, the Eighth Doctor really feels like an afterthought. It was like, oh, we were supposed to have the Eighth Doctor. Oh, let's just tack him in. I will say, for my issues, though, the chemistry between Alex Kingston and Paul McGann is amazing. Like, even though they don't meet face to face, you can tell that the connection is just... One of the things I've noticed listening to this set is that Alex Kingston is a lot like Nicholas Courtney, who played the Brigadier. It doesn't matter who's playing the Doctor at the time or who she's working with. She just has a way of making it work instantaneously. And that is really the strongest point of this story. Another point of this story I like is that this goes hand in hand with I Went to a Marvelous Party in showing River's skills, because I Went to a Marvelous Party shows her ingenuity. The Rulers of the Universe shows her ruthlessness. Like I said, with the Boundless Sea, River is not like the Doctor. She's willing to take the steps he would never take. And she is in full force here in the Rulers of the Universe. Like, she's out for blood. And yeah, like I said, mixed story, better than the Boundless Sea. I would probably say maybe a 6 out of 10. But yeah, ranking the stories, I would say Signs, I Went to a Marvelous Party, The Rulers of the Universe, The Boundless Sea. Before I go any further, I wanted to talk about the theme real quick, composed by Howard Carter. This is an amazing theme song for this series. In fact, no, yeah, there is no in fact. I really love this theme song. It's very Indiana Jones meets James Bond, which, if you think about it, is a perfect explanation for River. She's a badass time-traveling archaeologist. wanted to get that out of the way because I feel in the way I set this up, there was really no other place to talk about it. Now, Series 1 as a whole. Overall, Series 1 is solid, and it's a decent start to this spin-off. I feel most of my pitfalls and critiques are due to the fact that this is a new series, and like any new series, the cast and crew is trying to find their footing and figure out how to proceed forward. Most of that is aimed at how they handled River meeting an earlier Doctor. Like it does get better from here, though, so join me next time for Series 2, where River will meet her 7th and 6th husbands. She'll investigate a mysterious second Earth that's shown up out of nowhere. She'll try to prevent an apocalypse, deal with interdimensional squids. We'll see my personal favorite story in the entire range so far, and the best story in the entire range so far. Like, comment, subscribe, and then click the little bell to get notifications when I upload, because subscribe doesn't do that anymore. This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and I will see you guys next time.